It's Sunday and welcome to our show. We have a lovely show lined up for you tonight. On my sofa tonight, I'm joined by creator of Canal Street Online, Iain Scott, and author Stuart Linden. Collectively, they are responsible for the distribution of many stories and images of the LGBT plus world. Also tonight, Hayley gets very excited about the hottest film releases of 2023, and he's back wandering the wonderful, beautiful places in our region where you can go for a little walk. That's Paul Rudd. It's shaping up to be one amazing show. But first, to start the show off, our Hayley is looking at the best films that are not yet released. It's your film.
Hi, I'm Hayley and welcome to Your Film and a very happy new year to you. Let's kick it off by talking about which films are going to hit our cinemas this year. Now, soon, very soon, on the 27th of January, we have The Fabelmans. That hits the cinemas and it's directed by Steven Spielberg. It is a coming-of-age drama about Sammy, an adolescent who's an aspiring filmmaker. He then discovers a really devastating secret, a family secret, and then he uses the power of films to help him discover the truth. And like I said, that hits our screens from the 27th of January. Also in February, we have Puss in Boots. That stars Antonio Banderas. We have Irish film The Quiet Girl. This is about a 9-year-old girl who's sent away from her dysfunctional family. That is being released in February. The fantastic Claire Foy, she stars in Women Talking. That is based on a true story about a religious community, and this also hits our screens in February. Now, I'm really excited to tell you this, that currently the sequel to The Exorcist is filming, and it will hit our screens later this year. That's it from me. I shall catch you next time, and remember, stronger together. Bye.
Thank you, Hayley. Now, having worked on many publications in his vast career, there is one man responsible for capturing so many of the best photos of the LGBT world in the past 30 years plus. Yes, Stuart Linden has released books and some of the best photographs, and he joins us now. Welcome, Stuart. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
These photographs are something else, and they capture a particular time and era. Why did you focus so much on that particular time and era?
I was young and foolish.
Really?
Yeah.
Simple as that?
Simple as that. It was my time. You know, I was in my early 30s, and I was going out and about anyway and taking photos, and suddenly I started to get paid to take photos. And it was great. It was just a great time.
So do you have a particular style that you go for when you were trying to capture these photos then?
Well, yeah, to me, there are two types of photographs. If I was going out on a wet and windy winter's night in Bolton, for example, you know, there was just one pub, and there'd be a handful of people, and then you were getting posed photos. You're pulling everybody that was breathing in the pub together and trying to make a decent photo. But my absolute favourite are what I call reportage, or capture the moment photographs. So lurking in the bars and the clubs, in sort of a doorway where it was well lit, and waiting for the right people to come through the light. And then I'd just pounce out with the camera and take their picture, and then say, just take your picture for Gay Times or All Points North. Is that all right? And they go, oh, yeah, thanks.
Because we should say you did work for the Gay Times. I mean, what era was it when you were working for them? What sort of decade was it?
Well, mid-90s. Mid-90s. So what happened was I used to be out and about taking pictures in the bars anyway. And then Terry George, who's Mr. Gay Leeds, basically, he decided he was going to start his own magazine at All Points North. And he sort of said to me, do you want to be our scene reviewer? And so I said yes. So I was going out and about all over the north of England, Birmingham to Newcastle, Manchester, you name it, doing photographs and writing the words as well. So I wrote the reviews and took the pictures. And I kept bumping into the same guy, a fantastic guy called Bill Shaw from Gay Times, but he lived in Brighton. And he would come up to Birmingham, we would come up to Manchester and maybe do one photograph in Manchester, for example. And we kept meeting each other and he would say, it's daft me coming up. Why don't you be our northern scene reviewer? And so I became the northern scene reviewer for Gay Times.
And why photography? As you know, you mentioned that you wrote things as well. Why photography? Why was that a passion?
I just like capturing that that history, that moment. I just sort of. Some people have asked me about why why my pictures are they're just about people in bars and clubs, and because my remit was about taking pictures of people having a good time.
Right.
I wasn't a political photographer.
What would you want people to look at? How would you like them to look at your re-release of your book now that this is all happening? How would the young people? How should they look at this book? It's
quite interesting because I've had a lot of young people who and when I say young people, I mean people who weren't alive at the time, because it's 30, touching 30 years.
Yeah.
And since the very first pictures were taken, and they're quite jealous that they weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
They look at this picture and they go, "Oh, we wish the gay scene was like that now."
So you must have took thousands of pictures then. And looking back at it, is there a particular picture that kind of haunts you, that makes you feel unsettled with yourself as you remember perhaps somebody that's in that photo?
I think the picture that I alluded to, that there's only really one political picture I ever took, and it was just being at the right time at the right the right place at the right time, and it was the party in the park. It was the Sackville Park. And Paul O'Grady, Lily Savage was on stage, and it was 93-ish, 94, and Clause 28 was still in force. Thank you very much, Mr. Anderton, amongst others. And Paul O'Grady pointed out that there were plainclothes police at the back of the park, stood on the wall, watching and making notes. And I was right at the very front of the stage, taking photographs of Paul O'Grady on stage. And as one, the crowd turned and decided they were going to have these police, but not in a nasty way. They weren't going to harm them, but they were going to see them off. I was very overweight at the time. I was a bit of a porker, and somehow I managed to run from the front of the stage right round the edge of the crowd onto the street, onto the other side of the road, and there's a photograph in the book of these policemen in a plainclothes police in a car, and there's two fabulous lesbians who've thrown themselves on the bonnet of the car and are passionately kissing, and the crowd is behind them cheering, and these police are sat in the car, they do not know where to look.
It sounds amazing. Now, one gentleman that, of course, is a very familiar face here on Your Manchester, bringing us the most information about our very famous street, Canal Street, joins us now. There's a plethora of events going on. Welcome to our sofa again, Mr. Iain Scott. How are you?
By the way,
Happy New Year. There must be so many stories that you're hearing from Stuart.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, well, exactly. I didn't want to say that.
In the late 80s, I was not getting. We opened Metz in 1994.
Nice bar.
Metz.
Went there many times.
Yeah, absolutely. And that had just followed Manto, which opened about 18 months before.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the amount of venues that were available, and it was basically 4 or 5. The Thompsons was there, New York was there, the Union, not the New Union, but the New Union, and very little else. There was no Via, there was no Velvet, there was nothing further up the street. It was all, that time.
So we're reprinting it. It's going to be available in shops and online from pariahpress.com. But it's going to be in Village Books and places like that in Manchester.
And we'll be working with you.
Yes, fantastic. And there's prints that people can buy as well. We had a lot of requests for so we're doing some high quality prints that people can buy, and all that's on pariahpress.com. And there's going to be some new. The cover's different. It's going to be. I think it's going to be pink. the cover, just because.
Why not?
And it's going to be paperback rather than hardback, and it's going to be a bit cheaper.
And of course, Iain, you do loads of collaborations with people like Stuart. I mean, you started up Canal Street Online. Why did you start Canal Street Online? What was the need?
It was there to start. Nobody else was doing anything. Interestingly, this month is 15 years since we started it.
Great.
So we were operating at that time tourist bar at the top end of Canal Street, and I suddenly realised that nobody was providing kind of an umbrella for what was going on, not just in the village, but in the wider LGBT. Well, it wasn't LGBTQ then; it was just the gay community.
Yeah.
And so, it was there to be done. Started it, picked up, bits and pieces of information. It just grew and grew and grew. Interestingly, the card, which is just one part of it, has just celebrated 10 years in existence.
I mean, you mentioned the card there. We will have to explain what is this Canal Street the Canal Street card.
Yes.
What is it, and what does it deliver to people?
Well, the card, as I say, has been around for 10 years. It's a benefit card, basically, and there's about 150 different benefits for card holders. About 15 of them are in the village, so the vast majority are with what we might call ally businesses in Greater Manchester and beyond. Yes, it's the simplest
they're growing,
of
isn't
things.
It seems ridiculously busy, not just from users, but people that want to be part of supporters of the card.
Absolutely right. And in fact, the truth of the matter is that the gay village has expanded, and it's now called Manchester. You can pretty much go anywhere with a partner or a loved one, friend, family, whatever, and socialise wherever you like. And what I try to do is just cherry pick some nice quality businesses where our community are not just made to feel welcome, but actively encouraged and given a reward by going there. And it's building. We're just under 1,100 card holders now. It's never been bigger than that. And increasingly, people are saving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds a year, depending on where they go, the frequency, the number of people that they're with. Most of our offers are available all the year round. So, of course, we're sitting in January where everybody is offering 50% off here, there, and whatever. But ours are available very often on Saturday nights as well. So, the card has been one of our great successes. And we also work with the George Hedge Trust. So out of card revenue, if you like, we make some contributions to a very important cause as well.
Now, 15 years you've been doing Canal Street online. I mean, you must have also, like Stuart, seen a massive change within the village and indeed the LGBT plus community.
Yeah, very much so. But bizarrely, in some basic terms, it hasn't changed at all. So, if you look at the venues that are around today, the vast majority of them have been around a long time. We talked earlier about those early 90s and the arrival of Manto and then Mets. But then the Vias, the Velvets came along and other businesses. One or two came and went, but actually a lot of them are still in existence.
What do you expect people that are new to Canal Street to take away from Canal Street? What do you hope that they would embrace when they come to Canal Street?
Well, obviously, a sense of fun, camaraderie, safety, confidence. One of the things I feel very strongly about is that although it's not a perfect environment, the gay village is by and large a very safe haven for a lot of the youth. So people of my generation pretty much don't need the village in the way that they did, but actually the youth coming in from not just the Greater Manchester boroughs, but actually coming in from Leeds, from Glasgow, from Liverpool, even, where they've only got a small handful of businesses.
I think they're
coming here for the mass, if you like. And the beauty of the gay village, and the reason why it's world famous, is that of the 40 or so individual venues, you've got such variety in there. So it doesn't matter what your taste is, and increasingly, with issues of trans and non-binary, there are greater requirements coming along. And as I say, not perfect, but I believe that the gay village in Manchester provides more for the entire community than it ever has. And better than anywhere in this country.
It's the perfect place to leave that there. That's fantastic. I love it all. History is what keeps us going. And thank you very much, Iain. And of course, you, Stuart, as well. Now he's back after a short hiatus. He is wandering the best places to take time out from the region's biggest cities. Yes, that's right. Paul Rudd is back. What a ruddy life.
Happy New Year, everyone. This is my brand new segment. I want everybody to get up, get exploring. So please welcome Rudd's Rambles. Better than all that blooming rain we've been having, hasn't it, over Christmas? It's just so nice through here, and look at the beautiful sun. Just look at it. Absolutely lovely. When you go through here, you mainly get like dog walkers, and they're dead friendly. Like I said, we'll be at my destination in just a moment. It's so beautiful. This is my happy place, actually. During COVID, I gave up giving the gym, and I came up walking through here. And it's just good for the mindset. It's good to get out, get walking. Just getting out into the fresh air is just brilliant. Dunwood Park is so lovely. It's just there's loads of different routes. There's one where you can go really high up. I'll have to take you on that another day. But this is just a general route through on a lovely day like today. The birds singing. That is all you need to go on a good old walk, a good old ramble with some water coming up. And this bit is what I like about Dunwood Park. So you're in the woods all this way through, and then it kind of opens up. There's a river down there too. River, lovely river. There's like 2 paths. Which one to go on? I usually go up here. And like I said, there's loads of different routes. You can go right to the top. You see right to the top of Dunwood Park there. I've only been up there once. So in just a moment you'll see a fantastic thing here in Dunwood Park. I've always wanted to go on it, but I've never been on it. It's a climbing rock. I think lots of kids have been on that. It's absolutely amazing, absolutely fun. This park is family friendly. It's got a playground area, it has a bowling green, it also has a cafe with fantastic food, because I went in the other week and had some and it was lovely. Absolutely recommend it. Well, I'm coming to the end of my trail. I really hope you enjoyed my first walk, rambling with Rudd. That's me, Paul Rudd, here in the beautiful Dunwood Park.
Oh, how amazing to have him back. Now, listen, many of you at this time of year get proper glued to the telly, mainly because this is the time of the year where all them shows get you hooked on endless cliffhangers. But what are the best TV shows to watch? Well, joining us now from the northeast is Mr. Michael Adams. How are you, Michael? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. I tell you what, we don't need to do any talking about telly. Rudd's Rambles, get on that all day long.
Quite amazing, wasn't it? Quite amazing.
It was. Getting out and about with Paul Rudd. Love it. Love it.
Now, listen, you're in the northeast. You've been watching quite a lot of television. What are the ones to watch?
Yeah, I'm coming from our northeast newsroom, should we call it. So the one thing that dropped on BBC iPlayer yesterday that I used to love back in the day. In fact, look at this. I've got a prop as well. Look at this. A bit of Waterloo Road. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Got my uniform on. I know.
Was you in it?
And it's back. I wasn't in it, no.
No.
I mean, you know what? I'm probably too old to be in it now. I'd have to be a teacher, wouldn't I? So it's back. 7 episodes on BBC iPlayer. Loads of old favourites back as well. We've got Angela Griffin's back in it. Adam Thomas is back in it. So you really just get straight on that. Go and watch it. But as well, have you seen The Traitors?
Have I seen The Traitors? I spent all day watching it in one go. It was quite the sensation, wasn't it?
That's exactly what we've done as well. So it's a bit like, for anybody who hasn't seen it, to give you a little bit of an example, it's a bit like Big Brother mixed with I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, mixed with The Circle and Fort Boyard as well. We'll throw that in there because that was set in the castle, wasn't it?
So that's one to watch then. I think they're going to be making a second series of that very, very soon. But something I'm keen to talk about is Happy Valley. Everybody hooked again on this programme.
Yeah. Love a bit of Sarah Lancashire, don't we? Because she was brilliant in Corrie back in the day. And they always seem to do really well, those Corrie actresses, don't they? Once they've left the programme and then they go on to do brilliant things. But yeah, back to the third and final series. And as ever, I'm sure there's going to be some drama for us, isn't there?
Have you got any juicy gossip that you can give us from the story that we can be expecting from Happy Valley?
some juicy gossip. Oh, I wouldn't want to give too much away. She's about to leave. There's 7 months left on her before she can retire. So it's going to be an eventful 7 months, isn't it?
It's going to be an eventful for one particular writer, producer, and creator, Mr. Russell T Davies. He sort of disappeared for a little while with Doctor Who when Doctor Who kind of went like that. Now he's back. We are excited. What can you tell us about Doctor Who?
So Russell T Davies has got so much going on at the moment. Obviously, like you say, he sort of disappeared for a little while. And then, of course, not last year, the year before now, he did It's a Sin, which is absolutely wonderful. But he has now actually returned to Doctor Who. And with that, he's brought David Tennant and Catherine Tate back. So they will be starring in 3 episodes for the show's 60th anniversary across the next year. But not only that, he's also been filming a new drama over at Granada Studios surrounding a soap legend. Remember Noel Gordon, who played Meg in Crossroads?
Crossroads, yes, I do. She was a legend, weren't she?
She was. I mean, you talk about legends with red hair. You've got Pat Phoenix, Meg Mortimer, Belinda Scandal, haven't you?
All redheads, all redheads. It's the future.
So that's dropping on ITVX in the next couple of weeks. So that's really exciting as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. Also, I suppose we should touch on The Masked Singer, which returned to us recently.
Yeah. Who's that behind the mask? Is it Belinda Scandal? We'll have to wait and see. There is actually. Go on.
I was going to say I'd be knitting if it was me.
Well, I was just about to talk about knitting. There's a lot of rumours that it might be Stacey Solomon, because she likes a good craft, doesn't she?
Oh, yes. So is there anything this week other than your Manchester that people should be definitely tuning into?
So 100% BBC iPlayer Waterloo Roads. Happy Valley continues this week. Corrie is all over the place this week. It was on Monday, Tuesday. It's on again tonight, in fact. About now, actually, because it's for some reason it's on a Sunday at 8 p.m. So after your Manchester's finished, get Corrie on there. Lots of drama for Jacob and some upcoming over the next few weeks. I can't give too much away about Corrie, which is really, I would love to, but I can't. But honestly, my top pick it was 2022, but get on it in 2023 as well. The Traitors, that had me and my mum transfixed on the television for literally like 2 days straight. We were watching it. It was brilliant.
Right, well, we'll see you back in the studio on the 18th. Till then, though, thank you very much, Michael Adams. What have you two been watching? Have you been watching anything in particular? Do you watch the television? A lot of people don't watch television these days.
No, I tend to watch sort of. I tend to binge watch straight to box sets.
Yes.
Things these days. Although I did go to the movies this week.
Oh, did you
I went to
see
Whitney?
Oh, it's good. I went watching it as well. It's a bit good, that. I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Big hankies.
Yeah. It's very, very clever. Made by the producers that made Bohemian Rhapsody as well.
Yes,
what are you watching, Iain?
Call the Midwife.
Call the Midwife.
Huge fan.
I love that.
One of the finest bits of television ever. Consistently good for like 10 series or whatever.
I wish they'd bring back a full series of Downton. I really do, but that's not going to happen,
It's
is
not
it,
gonna
unfortunately.
happen, yeah.
Listen, we've run out of time, everybody. Thank you so much, Stuart.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Iain Scott. Absolutely fantastic. Well, make sure you check us out again on Wednesday's show. We've got loads coming up for you. In the meantime, thanks to each and every one of you for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.